Hello everyone. Today's video is titled Why is Futsal Another Way for Grown-ups to Mess with Youth Sports Culture? I felt very compelled to make this video today on account that I saw a video online and I will share with you, and also some of the current events that just been building up in the futsal league that we run, and what I've been observing over the last 3 to 5 years, and it seems to follow the same pattern that soccer does and now the youth sports. So let's dive right in it. First of all, I always said, when you see on television, maybe television is not the good media, but when you hear or when you see things on the internet from other countries where fans just behave badly, and if you follow, I'm going to address soccer here, okay, because it's an international sport. It's one of the biggest sports worldwide, and for those of you that have followed the sports, and for those of you that are well versed in soccer, over the past decades, soccer across the world just grew to have a lot of fanatical fans to a point of killing each other. So if a visiting team went to a stadium, it got so bad that they had to actually leave parts of the stadiums empty to separate the fans, and the away team fans would come into the stadium, an hour or so before the local team, so they could try to manage the hostility and the violence. And you would see incidents where fans would jump into the field, chase the referees, shoot the referees with guns, believe it or not. Just crazy events that just have no place in sports. And I always said, that's just one example. I want to share a couple so I can just illustrate my point. When a visiting team, came into a stadium by way of a bus, the local team fans would wait outside and throw rocks at the bus. Sometimes set fire to the bus. Just atrocious, acts of violence that just have no place in a sporting event. Just, a lot of incidents that I'm sure you guys go and Google, and just like I did a little while ago, you'll find all kinds of crazy nonsense. So one of the things I always said was that other countries are not as great as the United States of America, and people don't have as much to lose as we do. Most people in the United States of America, they have a family, they have a house, they have a car, they have a job. They have a lot to lose by engaging in such acts of violence. Where in other countries there's a huge unemployment issue. They just don't have as much. And I don't want to sound negative towards any other country, but my opinion is that we are in probably the best country in the world that just gives us a lot of things that we don't want to lose. And we are more civilized. So when we would go to sporting events, although we would celebrate by way of, tailgating, chanting, fun stuff, violence was never an issue. However, year after year, the phenomena of youth sports and just parents and coaches behaving badly, it's just getting way out of hand. And it's really causing a lot of kids to quit the sports. That's a big part. Don't think that, kids quit sports for this, for just because they don't want to play anymore, for whatever reason. The way grown-ups and parents behave and coaches have a lot to do with it, other than, teenagers having different interests or what have you. That part has a lot to do with it. So I'm going to address futsal now. And I've been doing futsal now for about 10 years. Training, coaching, trying to spread, the culture of futsal, why such a great sport, the development benefits that futsal brings into a soccer player, how it can benefit, its outdoor game and all that good stuff, and actually promoting the sport. But first things first, futsal by itself is a different sport than soccer. So the actual game of futsal, which is recognized by FIFA, that's the international governing body of soccer worldwide, has some differences than soccer. Some of the rules are different than soccer. Futsal is more of a combination between soccer and basketball and maybe handball, if you're familiar with it, than just soccer. There are a lot of common, variables, but there's also a lot of differences. So the sport itself is different than indoor soccer or soccer. The rules set by FIFA are different than soccer. The tactical aspect of the game is different than soccer. So here's what I've been noticing. Every season, and when I say season is because by most American standards, futsal is considered a winter off-season soccer event. And we are trying to change that mentality because futsal really should be a year-round sport, just like soccer is or basketball or anything else. Kids should be able to play futsal year-round, not only because it's a great, fun, full-of-action sport, but it benefits their development. Futsal should be combined with soccer in training. But for most American folks, the common thinking is that futsal is a winter sport. So every season, over the last 3 to 5 years, I noticed that the level of anxiety on the parent side, on the coach's side, is getting that to be close to a soccer game. Now, there are a couple of different ways to approach this. So there are futsal leagues that are, lower level leagues, development leagues, where you have a lot of, the majority of the teams are basically lower level teams with volunteer coaches. And then you have more serious leagues, I don't know, I want to say leagues, but let's say tournaments, regional tournaments, national tournaments, where those are played by futsal clubs, futsal teams that are, trained more seriously with paid trainers that understand the sport and all that good stuff. On the picture, you'll see, by the way, a futsal player wearing a jersey that says Futsal Academy, if you can make it out. That is the academy that is a 10-month year-round USYF, which is U.S. Youth Futsal Academy, Development Academy. That's part of that academy that has academies throughout the U.S. And we play in a local league, but we also, our teams play in those regional teams that I just mentioned to you about. So by me going to different leagues, the local league and also the regional leagues or tournaments, I notice a difference. The ones that are regional, where you have mainly higher level futsal teams or clubs paid and trained by paid futsal trainers, there is not as much of this nonsense than it is in the local clubs. The parents seem to be more educated in the game of futsal, just like the trainers. The local leagues are suffering right now of the same symptoms that soccer is. So the number one thing is that parents that watch a futsal game do not know the rules. And most volunteer coaches also do not know the rules. And it becomes a major problem when the referee is calling the game and he's calling calls that they think are, ridiculous or non-existent, but it's part of the futsal rules. So, for example, a lot of the fouls, shoulder to shoulder and contact fouls that may not be called out in an outdoor game, they are fouls in a futsal environment. Futsal, and don't get me wrong, it could be it could have contact But at the youth level, we take the contact out because it's supposed to focus on skills. Futsal, there's no hiding. If you don't have 1v1 skills, if you cannot protect the ball, chances are you're not going to be able to survive. You can't use your physicality. You can't outrun because you're just bigger and taller, because the space is not as big. It's not as long as a soccer field. So a lot of the fouls that happen outside, a lot of the calls that would not be calls on a soccer game, there are calls in a futsal game. That's also because we want to protect the players. They're playing on a hard surface court, so you want to protect the players by falling all over the place and hurting themselves. So parents do not know the rules of the game when it comes to futsal. They go to watch a futsal game and they think they're watching a regular soccer game. And by the way, most of the soccer parents don't even know the soccer rules. So you're watching a sporting event and you yelling at the referee to make calls, although you don't know the rules. Because according to your judgment, it's a call, it's a foul, it's this, it's that. So that's the biggest problem that I see. And that is with the parents and also the volunteer coaches. As the game of futsal, second thing is the game of futsal, as it's growing popularity, we need more futsal referees. And I'm talking about now leagues that use futsal certified referees. Not, Uncle Bob that just jumps in the middle and blows the whistle. As I said, futsal has different rules, and you need to have a certified futsal referee who knows those rules, who knows those laws of the game, that can call the game. So as the sport is growing, and believe me, the last 3 years alone, the sport is on fire. And the demand for quality referees is not meeting the amount of referees that are coming and being certified. Also because of the huge increase in the demand, referees that are coming in, although they might be good outdoor referees, soccer referees, they might be brand new in the futsal environment. And they need that transition time to get really good at officiating the futsal game. So all these combinations now are presenting a somewhat challenging environment. However, there's no need for parents or coaches to behave in a manner that is not appropriate. So again, part of the reason why I decided to do this video, guys, is I just saw this video online and it's disgusting. It's always been disgusting to behave this badly on a soccer field. And again, I'm not chastising the rest of the world, but FIFA has come down hard to curb violence on the fields, on the sporting events. In years past, FIFA, which is the governing body of soccer, has banned teams, fined teams, financially not allowing them to have any fans in the stadiums, to play in any empty stadiums. I mean, FIFA has done a lot of things to curb violence in soccer matches worldwide. But in America, like I said, my opinion was we have a higher standard. We are more civilized, and I'm sorry if I am offending anybody. We have more to lose, and we behave better. But that trend is going down the tubes. I mean, you go and watch soccer games, oh my God, it's horrible. What parents and coaches are doing to each other, what they're doing to the referees, what they're doing to the kids, it's just nasty. And don't get me wrong, hey, we all get caught in the moment, and we all have, an issue or, a different opinion with the referee, okay? But not to this point. So let's watch this quick video. I don't know what language this is. I don't know if it's Russian, Polish, or whatever, but watch this. If that doesn't disturb you, I don't think anything will. If this is not disturbing to you, then I don't know what to say. This weekend, in one of the games in the league that I belong to, a parent was harassing out loud a player from the opposing team. Now, don't forget, this is in a gym. The parent's in the stand, so it's a closer environment, and she's harassing one of the players. And then the coaches are getting involved, and when the referee tells them to be quiet, the coaches have an argument, and it escalates on and on. It doesn't matter if you know the rules or not. A parent should never harass the player. And there is bad examples of behavior everywhere, and it's getting worse by the year. But now futsal is becoming another avenue for the grown-ups to vent and get the week's frustrations out. In my opinion, I think the biggest issue why we're dealing with this is because parents do not understand the rules. Most volunteer coaches do not understand the futsal rules. So what I suggest is this. Hey, it's simple. Just go and Google basic futsal referee rules of the game or what have you. So I just found a video here, all right, from this organization, City Futsal, and the futsal technical director is just going over basic rules. Okay? I mean, simple things like the ball, size of the ball, equipment, players' equipment, referees' equipment. It addresses there's one timeout per team, each half 1 minute long. Bet you didn't know that. There's a timeout. He addresses different technical aspects of the game and the laws that apply. So why not Google and go YouTube and get familiar with the basic rules of the game? This way, when you're watching the game, you know what's going on. Okay? But, hey guys, I don't care what the rules are. There's no reason for anybody to yell and behave badly. I was in another game with one of my other teams. It was not a futsal game. It was a 7v7 indoor soccer game at a different venue. And we were in the final. And as soon as the we were in the final, we were down by a goal. We equalized with a couple of minutes left in the game. And as soon as we equalized, the tensions of the game, it was a very competitive game. Players, kind of got together almost in a fighting situation, started pushing and shoving. And all of a sudden, you have people running in from the sidelines. No need for that. The referee blew the whistle and canceled the game right on the spot. So he announced, hey, listen, game is over. Go champions for the day in the final. And then you have the coaches arguing, well, there can't be that. You got to go to PKs and get a winner and blah, blah, blah. Hey, guys, it's a one-day tournament. There's no medals. There's no points. You're just playing for the sake of playing and enjoying a one-day tournament with high-level competition. Is winning really that important? And we know we want to win every single game, every time we step on the field, no doubt. But there's no reason for us to behave this badly. But I keep noticing that every week now futsal is suffering the same disease than all the other soccer events and all the other sporting events. People don't know the rules, and they harass the referees, they harass the players, they harass the coaches. I hate to tell you this, but there's going to come a time where there's not going to be any youth sports anymore. Why? Because first of all, you're not going to be able to find any referees anymore. For the amount of money that they get paid, okay? And I'm not here to stand up for referees. There's a lot of good referees, there's a lot of bad referees. But it is what it is. It's just a game. And I know we get caught up in the heat of the game, but not to a point where we behave this badly. But for the kind of money they get paid, it's not worth to take the abuse they take from the coaches, from the fans. It's just not worth it. Never mind that a lot of these guys might start being afraid to go and officiate a game because some crazy person is going to jump on the field and go after them to hit them or hurt them. It's just not worth it. And guess what's going to happen? More and more kids are going to say, hey, listen, I don't want to be objected to this environment. Coaches are going to say, hey, as much as I love the sport, I don't want to be a youth soccer coach. It's just crazy. It's nonsense. And guess what? There won't be any sports anymore. There won't be any more youth sports. And we all have a share to blame in this. Parents, volunteer coaches, paid coaches, adults, grown-ups in general, we have a big stake in messing up youth sports. By the way, futsal is a lot different than soccer, as I keep saying. Just because you go on a futsal court, it doesn't mean that you're playing futsal. I took the liberty of just, again, basic futsal strategy and formation. If you guys watch this futsal game, it's a lot different than your soccer game. There are names for the players. There's 4 players on the floor. The pivot, wing or target that they call in this particular video. Some they call them different names. Okay, but as you can see, they have a diamond formation. If you notice, they're always moving, almost like basketball. It's almost like a basketball rotation. Could this help you in the outside game? Absolutely. If you are teaching your players how to pass and move the ball, Barcelona has a great, well, not just Barcelona, should I say, the Spanish Federation have a great strategy, and their methodology is about a passing game, passing and moving. Okay, so this would definitely help any team to get good at passing and moving. But as you can see, their movement is a lot different than the one of outdoor soccer. So not only does it have its own rules, which are different than soccer, it also has a different tactical aspect to it, much different than soccer, which if it's played properly, it's beautiful. If you can appreciate the sport. If not, if you are, a football guy and says soccer is for blah, 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 you're not going to appreciate that. Just like, a lot of people watch a baseball game and they think it's boring because they don't appreciate the strategy that a manager brings in a pitcher to pitch only to one hitter for a certain reason, because the current pitcher has been rocked from the hitter that's coming up, and the manager will bring a pitcher in just to pitch to that one pitcher. There's strategy behind the whole game. Just like that, same thing here. You watch these guys move the ball, there's beauty. Look at the way they move the ball. It's beautiful. Can we get our kids to do that? Only if you teach them futsal. You can't just say, well, we play futsal because we play with a futsal ball and we play in futsal environment. Do you know how to teach futsal tactics? Do you know how to teach rotations? Do you know how to work on transition? Do you know how to exploit the space? Do you know how to use a 1v1s to your advantage? Look at them move. It's completely different than soccer. Look how patient the defending team is in trying to take away the space. Oop, the yellow just found space. Okay? If it's not there, not being forced, quickly defend as a unit. Wide defense as a unit closes the space down until there is a mistake that they can exploit. So once again, my video is basically based on the fact that I just don't want to see us losing control of sports culture. It's just crazy, guys. I'm warning you, stop it. Just stop it. I don't want to hear, that this kid did to this kid, that to that. Although you guys don't know that the rule says that this particular call should be applied because futsal is different than soccer. Okay, don't go and watch the game thinking all that matters is just winning and scoring goals. I mean, I've made other videos where goals and winning is just killing. Another reason why youth soccer is being killed. Just because all you guys think about is goal scoring and winning. Do you teach anything else to your child if you just teach him winning under any cost? And I know there's a lot of you out there that may disagree with me, that you think that, by teaching a winning mentality, a winning culture, winning at all costs, only the strong will survive, blah, 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 blah. You think that that's the only way to behave and live. Yes, there is a place for that, but not when you are a U9, U8, U10. Okay? The senior players, 18 and over, are not being trained the same way the U10s are being trained. Everything is in its time. You can teach that kind of mentality in respect to the rest of the game. Every time a ball is being thrown on the field and every time you have two players going at it, regardless if there are goals or not, it's a competition. One player is trying to hold on to the ball, the other player is trying to take away the ball. It's a competition, it's a contest. Who's going to win the ball? It's always a contest. It doesn't have to have goals at the end to be a contest. So, once again, I hope that this video brings some light to the fact that futsal is going down the same path very quickly as youth soccer. And in my opinion, the biggest reasons why is because people do not know the rules of the game. They don't understand the rules of the game. They don't know the rules of the game. They think it's the same as soccer, which is not. And they're just being abusive to the players, to the coaches, and to the referees. That's the number one reason, in my opinion, that we are contributing once again to ruining a youth sports experience for the kids that play futsal. Think about it, and I hope I see you in court somewhere around the futsal culture here in New Jersey. Take care.